outside the box right here. I'm going Rick Barnes at Tennessee.
Oh,
dude,
whoa!
Look at the numbers. Class of 21.
When did you become such an analytics guy?
Because this is how I look at recruiting. I'm a player. I am not a coach. So when you said do some homework, I was like, all right, who's got the best classes over the last 3 years?
All right.
2021, he's got the 4th best recruiting class in the country. 2020, he's got the 5th best. So he's got 2 straight top 5 classes. And certainly Bruce Pearl had done a good job of getting players to Tennessee, but let's not act like their men's program has been like some powerhouse over the last 30 years. I mean, they've been good at times, but I think Rick Barnes has done a great job.
He has.
Here's the guy that recruited Kevin Durant.
Here's what I'll say. No, Rick Barnes, listen, Rick Barnes' early years at Texas, he was a killer. Like, he worked his ass off. He was a killer. He would have been in my top 5 then. He is not in my top 5 now, especially, I think part of it too, the staff has turned over a little bit. They lose Kim English after a couple of years. Des Oliver. They both
top 6 classes just throw them out the window. Huh?
I don't see this continuing. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't see this continuing. And that's kind of my deal is like, all right, who today they come in that gym, you're terrified. I put Shire at 3. Shire and Duke for me are all the way at 3, just because, again, that Duke name carries so much weight. You've still got Coach K in that palatial office that he's got, which I know you've never been invited to.
I've been there.
And you've been in it?
Yes, I've been there. I visited Duke.
Did you sneak in?
No. Chris Collins took me up there. And
actually, I don't believe this.
We can call him and he'll verify. My mom can also verify because this is – I don't know. Coach Collins might not recall saying this, and he might deny this forever. But my mom, I'm on a visit to Duke. This is where Coach Krzyzewski thought I was from California, so he wasn't seriously recruiting me. And Chris is giving us a tour around the offices, and we go up to his office, and my mom was like, wow, this is like the stairwell up to heaven, because the stairs go like up the – and I swear, Coach Collins was like, Mrs. Hummel, this is heaven. He might deny that, but my mom will swear by it.
Oh, man. Well, listen, wherever Shire's office is, it doesn't really matter because he's got the Duke brand, the brotherhood behind him. And as we talked about already, yes, you laugh with the brotherhood, but it is real. I fought Jason Tatum on the brotherhood for like pregame. I make fun of him all the time about the brotherhood. So, but it is real. The brand is real. And now, as we've talked about, we don't need to go into it anymore. They've got recruiting momentum, and he's actually doing it. So he's number 3 for me. I can't wait to see who you leave out now, because you're going to have to leave out one of 3 guys that I can't believe. Like, you could possibly leave one of these 3 out of your top 5. This is going to be a catastrophe on your part.
We'll see.
Number 2.
This is a toss-up for me. I went with Penny Hardaway. You know, he's got 2 of the last 3 top classes in the country. He's gotten big-time players. He's gotten, you know, Amani Bates, Jalen Duren, James Wiseman. And certainly the results haven't maybe matched the recruiting. And maybe this is the year where you see if that kind of all comes together for Memphis. But it was hard to leave Penny outside the number 1 spot. But I just think that when you look at my other guy, it makes sense.
Yeah, I have Penny at number 2 also. And for all the reasons you already mentioned, he's proven it, right? I mean, who wouldn't want – like, as cool as Juwan Howard is,
yes, totally.
Penny's cooler. Penny's the coolest coach in America. Like, you just look at him. He was out, you know, I saw him on the AU circuit, and he's sitting there, and you're just looking over there. You're like, I don't know. Like, I want to be Penny Hardaway.
His swagger is off the charts.
Ridiculous.
I mean, he's wearing, like, you know, exclusive Nike shoes with his suits at the games because this is actually a dude that has had his own shoe from Nike.
You remember when we saw him? You and I were both at the UCF Memphis game a couple of years ago. You remember pregame?
Yes.
He's just sitting there with headphones on,
Yeah, like a player.
Like a
Like he's
player
listening,
on the
got his
bench
Beast headphones on, just
in warmups.
like he's about to go
And
out
he
and get
probably,
30.
honestly, he probably could have beaten the hell out of UCF.
He probably could still get
player.
30 points. He looks like he could still get 30 points.
Yes.
But
The
with
other
his
thing,
commercials, the shoes, his career, I think everybody kind of understands that if injuries don't happen, he's one of the elite talents of the last 30 years.
and oh, by the way, who's got a better staff than Penny
Oh,
Hardaway right now?
I mean, Rasheed Wallace. I can't wait to see how many texts will Rasheed Wallace get for the bench this year.
Oh my God. It's going to be so entertaining.
Yeah. And then Larry Brown and
Cody Topper.
Poor
Cody Topper.
Sorry, Cody.
We want to give you the love, Cody. But unfortunately, you're on the staff with Penny Hardaway, Larry Brown, and Rasheed Wallace. So you honestly, you might as well like be the towel boy. I don't care how good you are at what you do. You are overshadowed by three elite, players, coaches. So yeah, I'm with you. Penny's going to keep getting dudes unless they really flop this year. Like that, they got to be good enough this year and entertaining enough, and
they got to be better offensively. They have guarded people. They have got to find a way to score and make some shots. And
well, that's going to be the interesting thing.
They have been brutal to watch.
What do you run when you don't have a true point guard, which they don't?
That's going to be the thing. Alex Lomax.
No, it's Amani Bates. Amani Bates is going to be
the thing, because Tyler Harris and Alex Lomax are probably the
backups,
weakest link of that team. And not probably. They are the weakest link of that team.
Amani Bates will be the point guard to start the year up. He will. And he's not a natural point guard, but who better to learn from than another 6'8"-ish, I mean, now Penny was a natural point guard the way he handled the ball. That's the difference. Is Amani.
And there are some instinctual things that come into play there. But if there's going to be someone to teach you, that's the guy.
Right. All right. So number one, to me, for you, it's either John Calipari or Juwan Howard.
Yeah, it's John Calipari. I was looking at it from a class perspective, and I do agree that Juwan Howard is a major oversight for my homework. But Cal has done, you look at his classes, top class in 2020, second class in 2019. 247 had him as the current number one class. I think Duke will overtake that when they update it. But when you even look at his worst class in 2021, he's 10th. But think about the transfers he got.
Right.
C.J. Frederick, Oscar Sheboy, the kid from
Ellen
Davis,
Grady.
Ellen Grady. Yeah. So, I mean, those are three legitimate college basketball players that, when you factor that in, that's a top 2 or 3 class in the country again. So he still is the best at doing it. He probably has been in the top 2 or 3 for the last 25 years. For a long time.
It feels like since he got Derrick Rose.
Yeah, no doubt.
At Memphis, that's when it put him on the map. And then he just used momentum, goes to Kentucky, brings John Wall and Boogie with him and Bledsoe. And then again, momentum's everything. He's never really lost it. But this year, the interesting thing is Cal more motivated now because of last season, right? Like last season was such a train wreck. Right. Did this motivate him a little bit? And then also you've got 2 coaches in Orlando Antigua who he knew, and Chin Coleman, who did a really good job getting talent to Champaign.
Totally. His staff is excellent.